What's up, guys? My name is Alex. I'm a seven-figure agency owner. This is inside of one of my customers' ad accounts. They spent $11,732 in the last 30 days, and they have generated almost 800 leads for their business. And this is all from using my strategy. It was not always like this. After doing over $100,000 per month in my AI lead generation agency, I've learned a lot. The most important thing that I learned is you have to figure out your mindset. When you're trying to grow and scale, and this is $10,000 in one day right here. We just refresh this, $10,050 in one day. Now that $10,000, when I was 16, 17 years old, I didn't have any money. My mom died when I was 14. She ended up overdosing. I was broke as a joke when I was a kid. My dad was a single dad. He was living paycheck to paycheck. I remember at the beginning of my life, we lived in a decent house. Like back then, like a $300,000 house was pretty solid. And it was in Lake Orion, Michigan. 2008 happened. We lost the house. I had to move in with my grandma. I had to switch schools. Then my dad couldn't find a job. He basically had no money. We had Bridge Card. Right. I remember one day, it was like Christmas time, or it was Thanksgiving. We didn't have any money for Thanksgiving food, so the church dropped off food, and it was like a surprise. We opened the door, and there was a bunch of food from the church. And I was just like, what the heck? Like, how don't we have any money? What's going on? It was embarrassing. Like, that's what gave me the drive and allowed me to switch my mindset to do whatever it takes to become successful. And then I ended up transferring to a private Catholic school, 11th and 12th grade year. Now, the difference that I saw from public to private is in private school, everybody is doing well. Everybody's successful. And I could see how life was different when money was not a problem. And I knew that I had to do whatever it takes to make money. So I would work lawn care and landscaping and put all of my money back into Facebook ads to find a winner for drop shipping. And I remember I did $30,000 one month drop shipping, and it was like a vitamin E oil. Then my Facebook ad account, everything, my payment processor got banned because I wasn't 18 years old. The people that were inside that group chat ended up starting agencies. And I was like, well, what's an agency? I had no idea what an agency was. Essentially, you run ads for local businesses. I didn't know how to run ads for local businesses at that point. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to go to college. I ended up going to Western Michigan University for like 2 weeks. And the reason that I dropped out was because I didn't have any money for books. So there's this thing called FAFSA, and FAFSA is financial aid for poor people like me. Now my dad, I guess I don't know what, he didn't know how to figure out the FAFSA shit. He never applied the right way. 2 weeks in, I still didn't have money for books. I went to the counselor and said, hey, what's going on? They said, you're gonna have to wait another month. And I'm like, dude, there's no way. I'm not fucking waiting another month to get the books so that I can do the school shit. I was gonna become a physician's assistant. I did okay in school. At that point, well, I know how to cut grass. I know how to do landscaping. So I came back home. It was 3 hours away from my house, and I started a lawn care landscaping business. In the lawn care landscaping business, so I came back and I ended up working at Verizon. This was my first sales job. Verizon, you have to sell people on phones. This was my first taste of sales. Now I was like, oh, I love this shit. You help people solve problems. Back then, like getting somebody to buy a new phone, you just ask them a couple questions. And it's kind of the same thing that we do today when we sell. Look, back then you're like, hey, is your phone slowing down? Is your phone taking longer to reload? Is your phone slower than usual? And they say, yeah. Like, okay, cool. Let me see if there's an upgrade. When I was at Verizon, I stayed there for like 3 months. I was the top salesperson when I left. And the only reason that I was the top salesperson was not because I was good at sales. It was because I took that shit super serious and I did as many dials as possible. I did as much outreach as possible. So I wanted to become my own business owner because I wanted to make money on my own terms. So I went and I called my old bosses that I used to work for lawn care and landscaping and said, hey, I was interested in starting a lawn care business. They said, okay, Alex, well, you can buy 70 lawn care accounts from us for $25,000. I didn't have $25,000. I had $1,000. So I said, meet me at Tim Hortons. I went and met them at Tim Hortons. I had no idea what I was doing, but I negotiated a deal where I could put $1,000 down and then pay the rest of the $25,000, $30,000 over a year. And I would pay that money with the income coming in from those 70 weekly lawn care accounts. Now, depending where you're from, in Michigan, you go out and cut someone's grass once a week. Okay. Now I would cut 70 houses a week and save up that money and pay them off. Now the thing was, I ended up kind of getting screwed over because that money did not come to me. It went to them, and they would just give me a little bit of money to keep going. Now, I'm not upset about it. After year one, I had 70 accounts and all of that money was transferred into my business bank account. So I still had those dreams of making money on the internet. I was like, okay, this is plan B. And plan A was always to make money on the internet so I could travel and have that financial freedom that I always wanted to do. Because the lawn care and landscaping business was just horrible. Those employees that I worked with, crackheads, drug dealers, people that went to prison, shit like that I didn't really enjoy being around. So every year in Michigan, it gets cold, the winter, and you stop cutting grass and doing landscaping, and you transition into doing snow removal. Every year when it got cold out, I would try to start an agency, or at the beginning, I would try to do drop shipping. Year one, drop shipping failed, lost a shit ton of money. I'm talking about $5,000 to $10,000. Year two, lost $5,000. Year three, lost $5,000. And then year four, I noticed all my buddies inside that group chat started transitioning into an agency. I'm like, okay, I know how to run Facebook ads. I don't know how to run Facebook ads for businesses. Well, let me try to run Facebook ads for my own landscaping company. Now, I did this. The funny story is I tried to grow my landscaping business through other models, door knocking, flyers, using postcards. And I remember one time I had my last $500 in my wallet. I went out to Royal Oak, Michigan. I was knocking on all of the doors, or I was actually leaving flyers at the doors. I left 300 flyers, no call. But I ended up losing my wallet when I was out there. I went back home. I was telling my dad, I'm like, this is fucked up, like horrible. I'm not getting customers. Somebody came and knocked on the door and said, hey, I have your wallet. The $500 was still in there. I'm like, holy shit. And at that point, I was like, all right, I'm going to try to run Facebook ads with the last $500 that I have. So I went out to my dad's car. I took my phone and said, hey, do you live in Macomb, Oakland County, Michigan? Want mulch, bush trimming, or any landscaping services? Then go down below and fill out the quote. I did that, and it was costing me like $25 to get a lead. And a lead is just somebody who's interested in landscaping. And I was like, holy shit, this really works. Before you know it, I was out there doing quotes for mulch, bush trimming, getting these high ticket jobs, $1,500, $2,500. And I was like, this is crazy. So now I knew how to run Facebook ads for landscaping businesses. The only thing I needed to know was how to sell it. So at that point, I did that for like a year, 2 years, and I saved up some money. I had maybe $20,000 to $40,000 in my account. I ended up investing $12,000 into this high ticket sales program. I go and do that. I learn how to sell, right? And I thought if I know how to sell, then I'll be able to make as much money as possible because I already know how to do the fulfillment. So I get in there. I decided to start my agency. The first year fail. I wanted to go into a niche with realtors. Everybody thinks, oh, realtors, like you can start a 7-figure agency with realtors. I tried doing that. I'm like, okay, let me just use my same methods that I run for landscaping for realtors. It didn't work out though. For some reason, I didn't think landscaping businesses had money. And I remember telling my friends at the time, I'm going to try to work with landscaping businesses and run Facebook ads for them. They all said I was a fucking idiot. They said that it was dumb, it never would work. And when they would tell me that, it just made me want to prove them wrong even more. I had family members saying, Alex, are you sure that this is like legit? Are you sure? I'm like, legit? It's a fucking advertising company, right? Like there's advertising companies around. This is not drop shipping. Drop shipping is like some scam bullshit model where you sell like BS products to people across the world and it takes 28 days to get there. We run Facebook ads for landscaping businesses. It's not fucking rocket scientist. But when I was running drop shipping Facebook ads, those are a little bit advanced campaigns to get somebody to buy a product over the internet compared to just running a basic campaign for a landscaping business. So I used some of that knowledge that I learned from drop shipping Facebook ads and I implemented it into landscaping ads, and the results were insane. On average, my customers are getting a 20x to 50x ROI on their ads by month 3. I have customers whose lives completely changed because of the ads that we run for them. Now, the craziest thing, when you have a Facebook AI lead generation agency, you only need to crack the code once for one business, and then you can copy and paste that campaign for all of your other customers. So right now, like we have 100, 105 customers. 90% of them are running the same ads across the country, but just in different markets. Now, I added in some AI to help them make more money. But at the end of the day, they don't care about AI. They care about growing their business. They don't care if I was running Facebook ads. They don't care if I was out there door knock. They just care about, are they getting more jobs? Now, that's my story about how I came up, right? Like I remember when I was younger, we were in 6th grade, me and my brother, we had no money. Like we would go into the fridge and there was just frozen chicken and Diet Pepsi. I guess going through all of that adversity adversity, losing my mom when I was 14 from a drug overdose, that gave me the mindset to get to $100,000 per month in my advertising company. Now, the people that watch this video, there might be 500, 1,000 people that watch this. Like on average, like maybe none of you are going to get to $100,000 per month. But the reason that I have this channel is to help people get to $10,000 per month faster. If I got to $100,000 per month, you just need to be 10% as good as me to live the life that you've always wanted to live. I remember that goal of $10,000 per month. Now, we're doing $10,000 in a day. And it's really just by understanding three things: marketing, sales, and fulfillment. Marketing is how do you get businesses interested in your services? So how do I get a landscaping business to say, hey, I want to work with you guys? Once we get that person to say, hey, I want to work with you guys, how do we communicate with them and get them to realize they should use our advertising strategy as opposed to whatever they're using right now? That's sale. And I remember when I was like 17 years old listening to Tony Robbins on the internet, and he said, if you can master communication, you can have whatever you want. Ever since then, I was just an absolute nerd with sales and communication. So we are very, very good at getting these business owners to realize that their current solution to growing their company is not going to work, and they should use our Facebook advertising strategy to grow their business. Now, the third part is fulfillment. How do you onboard those customers? How do you get them insane results? How is it that I'm able to spend $11,732 in 30 days in one of my customers' ad accounts? It's because it's insanely profitable. This is one of the fastest growing companies in the industry inside their market because of our strategy. So the reason that I make this content is to help people grow their agency. I don't make my money from coaching. I make my money from my actual agency. And I have an inner circle program. If you're interested in learning the exact methods that I use to be able to spend $11,000 a month inside of one company's ad account and how I'm able to make $10,000 in one day, go down below, fill out the form, see if you qualify. And if you qualify, let's talk.